Militado is mostly known for their vintage military-inspired designs and of course homages to those designs. They do a pretty good job for the price and seem to be slowly but surely establishing a market share among other brands that produce watches of the same style, and even the brand name Militado alludes to some kind of military connotations. However, now and again they deviate from the script and surprise us with something a bit different, like this watch that I have here. Okay, it is a homage to a vintage timepiece, however, it is definitely not a military or a field type of watch. So, did Militado step up to the challenge? Because the design that they took on is quite unique, to say the least. Well, we have it here. Let's find out. Hello and welcome back! So Militado challenged themselves to deliver this quite unique and actually iconic design, and I know that Baltony did something very similar. However, just before anyone says that, well, these watches come from the same factory just with different branding, well, I will have to disappoint you. It is unlikely to be the case. Like, for starters, these watches have different dimensions and there are more differences which are not particularly obvious. However, before we examine those differences and the rest of this watch, for full transparency, a few weeks ago Militado sent me this watch for review and they don't want it back. On my part, I agreed to provide a comprehensive review of this timepiece and of course share the product links where you can find this watch should you want to explore it further. And so all the necessary product links will be in the description of this video. Okay, so this is a homage to an iconic timepiece, and despite this dress design's iconic status, it is not actually homaged all that often. Actually, this is the only second brand, to my knowledge, that delivered this design. So, just in case you are new to the style, well, this is a homage to a Vacheron Constantin 1921 collection. And if you really like this design and want to get your hands on one of those VC's works of art, which only come in precious metals like white gold or platinum, you will need to budget for about, give or take, $37,000 US, and that is for an entry-level model. So the great news is of course that this Militado is not made out of white gold or platinum for that matter, and the price tag here is considerably more affordable. Also, Militado chose a very affordable movement to power this watch. We have a Seagull ST17 variant beating in the back. It is quite reputable automatic mechanical caliber, and while it does not boast the refinement of Swiss movements, it still offers a very robust set of specifications, beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour with about 40 hours of power reserve, and it also can be hand-wind. It is not a hackable movement, that is, the second hand will still continue to run as we pull the crown to set the time, and while hacking is a useful complication, it is a less important feature on this style of watch. Right, so I did mention that this watch has different dimensions to the one I've reviewed from Baltony, and indeed it does. And the main point of difference is the case width, which on this Militado is 36 mm, a couple of millimeters smaller than on the Baltony. So, a couple of things that worth noting here. First, Vacheron Constantin also produces a 36 mm version, so this Militado is in line with those proportions. Also, it looks like Militado is trying to capitalize on the trend of more compact timepieces that we're seeing in the last couple of years. So if you are looking for this style but in 36 mm size, well, then you are in luck. As for the rest of the dimensions, well, we still get here 20 mm lugs, which is good, only 10.5 mm case height, which is also very commendable for a watch that houses automatic mechanical movement. And lug-to-lug distance is only 42.3 mm. And putting it all on the scale, we have a weight of only 62 grams. Nice and light. Right, so I did mention earlier that the case size is not the only difference compared to the Baltony watch, and I will come to it in a bit, but first let's examine the case construction. And the full stainless steel cushion style case here is actually done really well, featuring only 10.5 mm thickness, well sculpted ornate lugs and push-pull crown on the top right-hand corner position. Quite unusual, but of course it is the defining feature of this iconic design. The crown is well proportioned, and thanks to the intricate knurling, it is quite easy to engage. The back of the case features the same mirror polish finish and is secured by 8 screws. This is a dress-style watch, so the declared 100 meters of water resistance is more than enough for a practical use. Now, how is this all-round high-polish case then different to the Baltony? Well, having high-polish finish all around does make it look nice and premium, however, it inevitably makes the case a bit of a scratch magnet, and Baltony applied a scratch-resistant coating to their watch, which meant to considerably reduce the risk of scratching. That coating, of course, comes at extra price, and this is one of the reasons why this Militado, which does not utilize such coating, is considerably more affordable. And while we are not getting scratch-resistant coating on the case, there is plenty of clear, high-quality anti-reflective coating applied to this lovely raised double-dome sapphire crystal. So no cutting corners here, giving us perfect legibility of this really well-executed dial. As it is very often the case with such homages, Militado gets very few points, if any, for originality here. However, the execution is very decent. The printing is crisp and even somewhat three-dimensional, which makes the Arabic hour indices look like they were written with black ink using one of those old-fashioned fountain pens. And I like the choice of font for the hour markers and Militado brand name. Similar to the unusual position of the crown, the dial is also turned by 45 degrees with 12 o'clock marker pointing towards the corner of the case. The idea behind such dial orientation was that it would be easier to read at a glance while driving and having both hands resting on the car's steering wheel. The jury is still out if such design really enhances the legibility, however, it definitely creates a unique dial look. And just in case if you're wondering, well, there is no lume on this dial, which is similar to a $37,000 Vacheron Constantin watch. And I think it is important to take a note of the leather strap that Militado supplied here. This padded, genuine leather strap looks and feels really good. It comes across as a quality item and even features quick-release spring bars. The only slight complaint that I have about this really good strap is the absence of branding on the stainless steel buckle. However, there is no logo on the crown either, so possibly Militado is just trying to stay consistent. And here is how this watch wears on my about 7-inch wrist. Big open dial and a square shape of the case does make it look on the wrist somewhat larger than the 36mm size suggests. So what's my verdict? Well, at about $100 price tag, this watch is nearly half the price of its closest competitor, and it also offers a great alternative if you like this design but looking for a more compact size of 36mm. There are no corners cut here, and it is powered by reputable movement and features a great looks of that iconic Vacheron Constantin design. I think this is a great find if this is the style of watch you are after. What are your thoughts? Well, do let us know in the comments. And if you want to see the review of the Baltony version of this design, well, click on this video over here. Don't forget to like and of course subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.